Alright, so it's no secret that I love commissioning furry art. I've commissioned artists for over 8 years now in the time that I've been a furry. On top of that, I've commissioned a multitude of different artists for all sorts of different ideas, expressions, poses, angles, kinky ideas. I mean, let's be fair, half the artwork that I've commissioned I can't even show in this video, so there you have it. But the bottom line is I love bringing my Fursonas to life. I'm willing to invest tens and thousands of dollars into random artists that I may see their style, may really like, and just want to throw this blurb of text at them for this idea that I have, and they craft it into just this absolute masterpiece. I love it every single time. The serotonin, the endorphins that go off in my head when I get that message notification and I go to see that that artist sent an image attachment, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna get my whip, my final art piece. It's an exciting day for me, because you don't know what's gonna be behind that until you preview the image and see if they have fulfilled on their idea that you put out there or not. And that is more of the premise of what I want to talk about today, getting the idea across to an artist of what you're looking for to receive the final product of what that idea might be. And realistically, it is a big challenge to do, especially knowing the medium for a lot of references, or giving the idea to an artist of what you want to get for a commission is almost always limited to just the ref sheet and whatever text blurb of an idea that you have. And no matter how descriptive you are with that little text blurb, whether it's short or long, the artist is going to take that text blurb, interpret it in whatever way they do, and churn out some sort of art piece based on what they interpret with it. Sometimes you might not have any sort of reference for what you're looking for. The idea might strictly be in your head, and sometimes conveying that idea, whether it's how the artist interprets it or how detailed or lack thereof I might be with my description, it can be very challenging to get to that specific pose, expression, scenario that you're looking for that's perfect for them to continue with what they're doing. Like, even a specific example, I ended up commissioning this artist on Twitter known as Leon Beam a few years back. You know that art piece of Levi on the beach with cheese in his hands? Yeah, this is where this comes from. I saw their art style, I saw they were open for commissions, and I'm like, holy fuck, yes please. So I hit them up and I'm like, hey, I want to commission you. And they're like, hey, what are the details for what you're looking for? I'm like, oh, well, I didn't think I'd get that far. Let me think of something. I really didn't come up with a specific scenario. I sent them some very brief details of looking for an end of summer art piece of Levi in his life jacket attire as a lifeguard on the beach, but I didn't really have the fine details in mind, or even just a visualization of what I was looking to maybe receive at the end of the day. And then they ended up sending me this sketch as a result. And it looks great. I love it. It's still so cutesy, it's still so high energy, but then I thought of a very funny and dumb idea. What if we change that watermelon to a wedge of cheese? What if Levi is just eating a fucking wedge of cheddar cheese on the goddamn beach in the middle of the sun? That sounds like an excellent idea to me. Let's go with it. And you know what's the best part on top of it? I'm lactose intolerant, baby. That's going right through me. So, you know, that adds to more irony. And so I was like, hey, could you just change this to a Parmesan cheese wheel or a cheddar cheese wheel? And they did it, and the art piece looks fantastic. It's still funny as shit because everyone's asking, like, why is there cheese there? And it's like, I don't know. I just thought it was funny. But the point being, the first few stages of commissioning an artist, especially the sketch stage, are the most important, and it's especially the case if you don't go into it with any sort of visual reference for the artist to go off of. It can be very tricky for them to bring whatever idea to life because they have to create it themselves based on that prompt that you gave. Now, say you don't have any sort of reference and you're kind of just going on some sort of description blurb. Well, there is one thing that you can do that artists love receiving regardless, and that is draw them a stick figure drawing, as crude or bare bones as it can be, of what you're looking for, and send that as a visual reference. Now, the reason why I'm even doing this video to begin with is because of a tweet that I saw that turned into a little mini trend for artists on Twitter to partake in, where it detailed pretty much how stick figure drawings help so much more than you can imagine with the commissioning process. And I saw a little trend on furry Twitter that highlighted this idea a little while ago that I want to revisit today. It's a tweet that comes from HLDA back in December of 2023, where they highlighted in this infographic that stick figure drawings or any sort of visual reference helps artists tremendously with any sort of commission. I don't know about other artists out there, but I really enjoy it when my clients give me a loose sketch of what they have in mind when they're commissioning me. It cuts down the communication time significantly, and I think other artists should start accepting them more. So they ended up putting together this little infographic that highlights this idea that I've been talking about previously. I really appreciate it when my clients sketch something to actually show me what they have in mind instead of describing it. Even if it's a stick figure, even if you might think it is not good enough, please understand it helps me immensely in peeking into your brain and knowing exactly what you want. I've heard and understood from numerous people that it is scary to send an artist a bad sketch, but please know that it is in fact very helpful for both of us. Of course, there is still a caveat in that even though you may have a very specific idea in mind, the artist might have visions that might prove to be better in composition or better in conveying a certain mood, etc. Please be open to communicate with one another. Both parties want to reach the same goal, make a good picture. Basically, the lesson here is be as communicative and descriptive, visually, audio-visually, whatever it can be, towards an artist when commissioning them, because it helps them in more ways that you know. Because think about it this way, if I were to ask 10 different artists to create my Pokesona for me, which is an anthropomorphic Arcanine in a life jacket who's on a rescue team with other water type members, and he's afraid of water even though he can swim just fine, and his team members poke fun at him because they're water types and he's a fire type who needs to wear a life jacket. That would be my Pokesona, by the way, I'm just saying. So if I'm commissioning 10 different artists to make an Arcanine in a life jacket, I'm gonna get 10 different Arcanines in a life jacket. Some may be similar in just details or artistic liberties, but a lot of them will be very different in how the commission ends up. And that's why giving specifics for visual references for what you're looking for can help tremendously in cutting down that time or the back and forth of what you're looking for. If it's an end-all be-all and you send the details and then they send the final product, there isn't really a way to give changes in between. So it's kind of a one-shot deal. And usually artists will have some sort of sketching phase for you to give feedback or changes. Sorry, Mike, for what you're looking for. It can still be challenging with finding the final product of what that might be at the end of the day. And this little infographic or post ended up starting this little trend that happened not soon after. Many furry artists and non-furry artists alike hopped on this trend, in which they shared the client example of the sketch or stick figure drawing that they were sent, and the final product for what the commission ended up looking like. A couple of examples as follows. Please give me a sketch of what you want, even if it doesn't look amazing. Trust me, it helps so much. I'm so bad with words, visuals help me tenfold as an artist. This is probably my favorite example that I saw out of all of them by D-Den. My favorite one still. If able to, do this more. It's so much of help. But look at the before and after, the sketch stick figure, and then the final product, just this fucking masterpiece. I had to share one of my favorite commission ideas as well. The first one is two cartoony headshot type things split in the middle. You got two characters biting into this big bone, and then boom, the final product. Look at how cute that looks. I love when my clients send little doodle references. It's super helpful. This one's just an outline of an anthro figure holding a turtle in his hands and a turtle on his shoulder, and then look at the final product. I'm sure there obviously were some discrepancies with like the details of what they were describing in the art piece for what they wanted, but the fact that you start with this and then lead to that is fucking amazing. I think this one's my other favorite one from Augie Osborne. This is an older piece, but I love when someone sends me doodle references. It's super helpful. And literally, like, look at Santa hat, barrel of crude oil, and then the final product, which is still just as chaotic and cute and adorable. I love that. Like, isn't that great how you can just take such a crude drawing and then it's interpreted so much better for what you're looking for at the end of the day? This next example is from my friend Russ, who I actually think I found the OG tweet from, and I love Russ. He's such an amazing artist. Go and commission Russ specifically. It's because I'm biased, by the way. But the @RustlidFluff says, my favorite is this one. Can't stress enough how much I love stick figure sketches. Oh my god, that's Opta! I love Opta! Oop is so cool. Look at that face. I actually might use that sticker as a reference for another art piece that I want to get with that exact expression. So hey, that's something you can do. The art that you see on the internet, you know, save it and maybe use it for the sake of future commission ideas. That's what I do. I have a whole folder of like commission ideas or commission inspirations for future art pieces I want to get. Still one of my favorites of all time. I kind of cherish those little doodles from my clients. It's just a simple drawing, you know, smiley face, they're happy. The artist took artistic liberties with it and it looks so good. But that's what you can do to help artists out that you're commissioning. Now, granted, if you're commissioning like a YCH or something, this doesn't really apply at the end of the day because you're just plaster Fursona onto white and blue character. But still, just keep this in mind when commissioning artists next time. And trust me, artists adore and love this. I mean, on my YouTube short alone, I had a bunch of artists come forward and say, hey, I love this idea, please do this. And a lot of artists quote retweeted and retweeted the post that I originally made. So yeah, you know, there's something to keep in mind. If artists are saying that it's really good, both inside and outside of furry, then chances are it's a pretty good practice that I think should become very common practice in future commissions. So do this more when you commission artists. That is all I'll say. Which I get at the end of the day, this all comes down to just communicating with the artist, but a lot of the communication and the back and forth can be narrowed down if you give a little bit more with what you're looking for. Because remember, if you have an idea for some sort of art piece, there's bound to be be some other idea that's very similar to it that already exists as an art piece, whether it's the expression, the pose, the angle, the details in what you're looking for, and so on. But either way, it's just a fun little thing that I wanted to share with you guys today. So on that note, thank you all for watching. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, be sure to let me know in the comments. I greatly appreciate all the feedback and support. I saw that you guys were asking me some questions on how to do this or that within furry, and specifically geared towards like furry art with commissioning it or getting it. And to that I say, go and check out this video that I did however many years ago. I think I did a pretty good job on highlighting the step-by-step process on how to commission a furry artist to begin with. So if you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. I'm not doing another one. I already did it once before, not doing it again. So please go and watch that if you haven't already. And if you enjoy this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I don't really have anything to shamelessly promote besides just support furry artists, commission them, and help minimize the process of the back and forth in between and getting from point A to point B with the final product of what you're looking for sooner. I guess as another little thing, if anyone wants to bring the idea of the Pokesona that I add to life, of the Anthro Arcanine in a life jacket as a rescue team member from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, because I fucking love Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I still need to play the new one, even though it's been like 2-3 years old at this point, but you know, I'll get to it at some point. If anyone wants to bring that idea to life, feel free to do so. I'll feature your artwork and credit you in the video itself that I end up showing it on, which I don't know what that video will be in the future, but I still just like featuring the fan art that you guys do for me, so thank you so much for all that you do. Either way, that's about gonna do it for me. Have a wonderful night, take care, life stay jacket, treat people like people, and that's about it. See you guys later.